Nneoma lived in the bustling city of Lagos, a place where dreams were made and broken. She was a young and beautiful girl with eyes that sparkled like the stars, and a smile that could melt the coldest of hearts. Despite the beauty and vibrancy of the city, Nne's life was filled with challenges. She lived with her father Mr. Adichie and her step-family. In a modest home, Nne's mother had passed away when she was very young, leaving her father to raise her alone. Mr. Adichie eventually remarried, bringing a new wife and her daughter Chinaza into their home. Life changed drastically for Nneoma after that. While her father worked tirelessly to provide for the family, Nneoma took on many household responsibilities, always trying to keep the peace. She excelled in school, her intellect matching her beauty. Teachers often praised her for her dedication and hard work, seeing her as a beacon of hope in the often harsh realities of life in Lagos. Yet despite her outward composure, Nneoma's heart was heavy with the burden of her family's mistreatment. Her stepmother, Mrs. Adichie, never missed an opportunity to belittle her, while Chinaza, her stepsister, was the epitome of spoiled and manipulative. Chinaza was the complete opposite of Nneoma. While Nneoma was humble and kind, Chinaza was spoiled and selfish. She reveled in her mother's favoritism, using it to manipulate situations to her advantage. Chinaza had inherited her mother's cunning nature and often used her beauty to get what she wanted. From a young age, she had been taught that her looks could open doors that her character couldn't. She spent her days shopping, socializing, and planning her future, always ensuring that she stayed at the center of attention. Her dreams were filled with luxury, wealth, and power, and she would stop at nothing to achieve them. Despite their differences, Nneoma always tried to keep the peace between them. Even when Chinaza's schemes landed her in trouble, she hoped that one day her stepsister would change, but that hope seemed to diminish with each passing day. It was a sunny afternoon when China's latest scheme unraveled, pulling Nneoma into its wake. Chinaza had convinced a local shop owner to give her an expensive dress on credit, promising that her wealthy father would pay for it later. The shop owner, trusting China's charming demeanor, agreed. But when he came to collect the payment, he was met with surprise and anger from Mr. Adichie. Mr. Adichie, unaware of the purchase, was furious. He had been working tirelessly to make meet, and this unnecessary expense was a heavy blow. Chinaza, true to her nature, blamed Nneoma, claiming she had asked for the dress despite Nneoma's protests. Her father believed Chinaza punishing Nneoma for the misdeed. Nne's relationship with her father strained even further, and her heart itched with the injustice of it all. She retreated to her room, tears streaming down her face, wondering how much more she could endure. But as always, she wiped her tears away and resolved to face another day with strength and resilience. Desperation was a familiar feeling for Mr. Adichie. He had long dreamed of a better life for his family, one where they wouldn't have to worry about money or social standing. It was in the midst of this desperation that an unexpected proposal arrived one evening. Mr. Adichie received a letter from Mr. Okoro, a wealthy coup known for his business acumen and immense wealth. Mr. Okoro had recently suffered an accident that left him disabled, and his family was eager to see him settled down. They believed that a good marriage could bring some joy back into his life. Mr. Okoro had heard about Mr. Adi's beautiful daughters and proposed marriage to one of them. This proposal was seen as a golden opportunity. By Mr. Adichie marrying one of his daughters to a man of such status and wealth would elevate their family's position and ensure a secure future without hesitation. Mr. Adichie accepted the proposal, confident that Chinaza would be thrilled by the prospect. Little did he know Chinaza had no intention of marrying a disabled man, regardless of his wealth. She had her sights set on someone who could match her ambitions and lifestyle. At first, Chinaza pretended to be excited about the proposal. She knew her mother and Mr. Deer would be pleased, and she loved being the center of attention. But deep down she was plotting a way out. Marrying a disabled man was not part of her grand plan. Days turned into weeks, and the wedding preparations began. Chinaza played along, smiling and agreeing to all the arrangements. She even tried on wedding dresses, giving the impression that she was fully committed. But as the wedding day approached, her anxiety grew. In a desperate attempt to escape the marriage, Chinaza concocted a plan. She would convince Nneoma to take her place at the altar, deceiving their father and Mr. Okoro. It was a cruel and selfish plan, but Chinaza was determined to see it through. She approached Nneoma one evening, her eyes filled with false sincerity, and laid out her plan. Nneoma was stunned by China's proposition. She couldn't believe that her stepsister would stoop so low as to deceive their father and Mr. Okoro. But Chinaza was relentless. She played on Nneoma's sense of duty and compassion, reminding her of their father's struggles and their grandfather's medical bills. If you don't do this, Nneoma, our family will suffer. Think about father, think about grandfather. You can make this sacrifice for them. Chinaza pleaded, her eyes wide with feigned desperation. Nneoma was torn. She didn't want to betray Mr. Okoro or deceive her father, but the thought of her grandfather's health deteriorating without proper care was unbearable. With a heavy heart, she reluctantly agreed to take China's place at the altar. She knew it would mean sacrificing her own happiness, but she couldn't let her family suffer. The days leading up to the wedding were a whirlwind of emotions for Nneoma. She felt a deep sense of betrayal by her family, but also a growing determination to protect them. She spent countless hours rehearsing the role she was about to play, trying to prepare herself for a life she had never imagined. The night before the wedding, Nneoma sat alone in her room, staring at the wedding dress hanging in the corner. It was a beautiful gown, simple yet elegant, reflecting the understated beauty that she possessed. Tears welled up in her eyes as she thought about the life she was giving up, the dream she had for her future. Her grandfather, sensing her distress, came to her room. He had always been a source of strength and wisdom for Nneoma. He sat beside her, holding her hand, and spoke softly. Nneoma, my dear, you have always been strong and selfless. Remember, true happiness comes from within. No matter what happens, stay true to yourself, and let your heart guide you. His words gave her a sense of peace and resolve. She knew that her sacrifice was for the greater good, and she vowed to face the future with courage and grace. The wedding day arrived with a mix of anticipation and dread. The Adichie household was a flurry of activity, with last-minute preparations and guests arriving. Nneoma, dressed in the wedding gown meant for Chinaza, looked every bit the beautiful bride, though her heart was heavy with uncertainty as she walked down the aisle. Nneoma's mind raced with thoughts of the life she was stepping into. Mr. Okoro, seated at the altar, looked at her with a mixture of surprise and curiosity. He had expected Chinaza, but the woman before him exuded a quiet strength and grace that captivated him. The ceremony proceeded smoothly, and before she knew it, Nneoma found herself married to Mr. Okoro. As they exchanged vows, she felt a sense of calm wash over her. She had made her choice, and there was no turning back. Life with Mr. Okoro, or Chinu as he preferred to be called, was not what Nneoma had expected. Despite his wealth and status, he was a kind and gentle man, deeply affected by his disability, but determined to live his life with dignity. His mansion, though grand and luxurious, had a warmth that made Nneoma feel surprisingly at home. Chinu was initially reserved, unsure of the sudden change in his bride. However, he soon noticed Nneoma's genuine kindness and compassion. She took care of him with unwavering dedication, attending to his needs with a gentle touch and a warm smile. Her presence brought a sense of peace and comfort that he had not felt in a long time. Nneoma, in turn, began to see beyond Chanu's disability. She discovered a man with a brilliant mind and a kind heart, someone who had faced immense challenges, but remained strong and resilient. As they spent more time together, a bond of friendship and mutual respect began to form. Mr. Okoro sat in his study, a luxurious room filled with books and elegant furniture. The soft glow of the evening sun filtered through the curtains, casting a warm light on the mahogany desk. He stared at a photo of him in Nneoma from their wedding day, a day that had marked the beginning of a new chapter in his life. His thoughts wandered back to the first few weeks of their marriage. At first, he had been confused and slightly disoriented by the swap. He had expected Chinaza, the woman who had initially agreed to marry him, but instead he found Nneoma. Though they were sisters, their personalities were strikingly different. Chenu, now able to stand with the help of crutches, walked to the window and gazed out at the sprawling garden. He remembered the moment he realized that it was Nneoma who had married him, and not Chinaza. It had been during a conversation with one of the family's housemates who let slip the truth about the swap. Chen's heart had raced, anger and betrayal surging through him. He had felt like a pawn in a cruel game, manipulated by people who cared more about their own gains than his happiness. For days he wrestled with his emotions, uncertain of how to confront Nneoma about the deception. However, as he observed Nneoma's daily acts of kindness and the genuine care she showed him, his anger began to dissipate. She was not complicit in the deceit. She was a victim of her family's manipulation, just like him. Her actions were driven by a sense of duty and love for her family, not personal gain. One evening, as they sat in the garden, Nneoma tending to the flowers while he watched Chenu decided to address the issue. He turned to her, his voice gentle but firm. Nneoma, I need to ask you something important. She looked up from the roses, her eyes wide and apprehensive. Yes, Chinu, I know about the swap, he said, watching her reaction closely. Nee's face paled, and she looked down, guilt and fear evident in her eyes. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't want to deceive you, but my father and Chinaza, they pressured me. They threatened to stop paying my grandfather's medical bills if I didn't agree. Chanu's heart Softened as he saw the sincerity and regret in her expression. "I understand why you did it," he said. "And I don't blame you. You were put in an impossible situation." Tears welled up in Nom's eyes. "Thank you for understanding. I've grown to care for you deeply, Chinu. I want to be by your side not because of any obligation, but because I've fallen in love with you." Chinu reached out and took her hand, his heart swelling with emotion. "I've come to realize how much you mean to me, Nneoma. Your kindness, your strength, and your compassion have touched my heart in ways I never expected. I'm grateful that it was you who became my wife." From that moment, their bond deepened. The revelation of the swap became a turning point in their relationship, allowing them to move forward with honesty and mutual respect. Chanita no longer saw Nneoma as the woman who had taken her sister's place. He saw her as the woman who had brought light and love into his life. As he stood by the window watching the sunset, Chinu felt a profound sense of gratitude. Nneoma's presence had transformed his life, and he was determined to cherish and protect their love. The deception that had brought them together had ultimately revealed the true depth of their characters, and the strength of their bond. Their love was no longer defined by the circumstances of their marriage, but by the genuine connection they had forged together. They faced the future with hope and determination, ready to overcome any challenge that life might throw their way. In the distance, Nneoma appeared in the garden, her laughter echoing through the evening air as she played with the neighborhood children. Chinu smiled, knowing that he had found not just a partner, but a soulmate. Their journey was far from over, but with Nneoma by his side, he felt ready to face anything. Despite their initial differences, Nneoma and Chinu found common ground in their shared interests. Chinu loved reading, and Nneoma often joined him in his study, discussing books and exchanging ideas. They discovered a mutual love for music, spending evenings listening to their favorite songs and even singing together. Nneoma's genuine interest in Chanu's life and her eagerness to learn about his work impressed him. He began to open up about his business, sharing his hopes and dreams for the future. Nne's intelligence and insightfulness became evident, and Chinu found himself relying on her more and more for advice and support. Their relationship grew deeper with each passing day. Nneoma's kindness and compassion slowly melted the walls Chinu had built around his heart. He began to see her not just as a caregiver, but as a partner and confidant. Nneoma found herself drawn to Chanu's strength and determination, admiring the man he was beyond his disability. One evening, as they sat in the study, Chinu opened up about the accident that had changed his life. He had been a successful and ambitious businessman, always on the go, when a tragic car accident left him paralyzed from the waist down. The accident had not only taken away his mobility, but also shattered his confidence and spirit. Nneoma listened intently, her heart aching for the pain Chinu had endured. She realized that his disability was not just physical but emotional as well. He had faced immense challenges, battling not just his physical limitations, but also the prejudice and pity of those around him. Inspired by Nom's compassion and unwavering support, Chinu began to see a glimmer of hope. He confided in her about his fears and insecurities, finding solace in her understanding and empathy. Nom's belief in him became a source of strength, motivating him to seek new possibilities for his future. Encouraged by Nneoma's unwavering support, Chinu decided to explore medical treatment options that he had previously dismissed. Nneoma stood by his side, researching potential treatments and consulting with doctors. She believed in Chanu's strength and resilience, and was determined to help him regain his mobility. They traveled to various medical centers, meeting with specialists and exploring different therapies. Nneoma's presence was a constant source of encouragement for Chinu. Her belief in his recovery him the courage to undergo rigorous treatments and face the challenges head-on. Nneoma's dedication and love became the driving force behind Chanu's rehabilitation. She encouraged him to push his limits, celebrating every small victory along the way. Their bond grew stronger as they faced the ups and downs of the journey together, their love and commitment deepening with each passing day. The road to recovery was long and arduous. Chanu's rehabilitation sessions were intense, pushing him to his limits, both physically and emotionally. Yet Nneoma remained steadfast by his side, her unwavering support becoming his beacon of hope. Her presence in the rehabilitation center was a source of inspiration not only to Chinu, but also to the other patients and staff. Chanu's determination to overcome his limitations was fueled by Nne's love and encouragement. She participated in his exercises, helping him with the movements and celebrating every small milestone with joy and enthusiasm. Her positive attitude and relentless belief in his recovery gave Chenny the strength to keep going even on the toughest days. As they spent more time together, their connection deepened. They shared stories of their past, dreams for the future, and found solace in each other's company. Nneoma's kindness and compassion touched Chanu's heart in ways he had never experienced. Before he realized that he was not alone in his journey, Nneoma was his partner, his confidant, and his greatest supporter. Weeks turned into months, and Chen began to show significant signs of improvement. He regained some movement in his legs, a milestone that brought tears of joy to both him and Nneoma. The progress was slow but steady, and each step forward was a testament to their hard work and determination. Chanu's doctors were amazed at his progress, attributing much of his recovery to Nneoma's unwavering support and positive influence. Her presence had given Chinu the motivation to push beyond his limits and embrace the possibility of a full recovery. With each passing day, hope grew stronger. Chanu's confidence returned, and he began to see a future filled with possibilities. He was no longer defined by his disability, but by his resilience and the love that had guided him through the darkest times. Nneoma's love had not only healed his body, but also his spirit. Back in Lagos, Chinaza watched from afar as Nneoma and Chanu's relationship blossomed. She had expected Nneoma to be miserable in her new life, but instead she saw a love story unfolding before her eyes. Envy and regret knotted her heart as she realized the opportunity she had foolishly given up. Chinaza had always believed that wealth and status were the keys to happiness, but seeing Nneoma and Chanu's genuine love made her question her values. She realized that she had been blinded by superficial desires, and in her quest for luxury, she had missed out on something far more precious. As she watched Nneoma and Chanu's love story unfold, Chaz's heart filled with regret. She wished she could turn back time and make different choices. The life she had always dreamed of was now Nneoma's reality, and she was left to face the consequences of her actions. Nneoma and Chanu's love grew stronger as they faced various challenges together. Chanu's rehabilitation journey was filled with ups and downs, but their bond remained unbreakable. They learned to lean on each other for support, finding strength in their shared love and commitment. One of the biggest challenges they faced was societal prejudice. Many people still viewed Chanu's disability with pity or disdain, unable to see the person beyond the physical limitations. Nneoma and Chinu faced these prejudices head-on, proving that true love transcends physical appearances. Their journey was a testament to the power of love and resilience. Nneoma's unwavering belief in Chanu's potential and Chanu's determination to overcome his limitations became an inspiration to many. They showed the world that with love anything is possible. One day, during a routine rehabilitation session, Chinu achieved a significant milestone with Nneoma by his side. He took his first steps without support. It was a moment of triumph filled with tears of joy and overwhelming emotion. The rehabilitation center erupted in applause, and Nneoma's heart swelled with pride. Chanu's progress was a testament to his strength and determination, but it was also a reflection of the love and support Nneoma had given him. Her unwavering belief in his recovery had fueled his journey, and together they had achieved the impossible. The milestone marked a turning point in their lives. Chanu's confidence soared, and he began to embrace life with renewed vigor. He and Nneoma celebrated this victory, knowing that their love had the power to conquer any obstacle. As Chanu's recovery progressed, their love story became public. The media caught wind of Chanu's remarkable journey and Nneoma's role in his recovery. Their story became the talk of the town, and soon they were the envy of many. Despite the newfound attention, Nneoma and Chenu remained grounded. They continued to focus on their love and the future they were building together. They used their platform to advocate for disability rights and raise awareness about the power of love and resilience. Their love story became an inspiration to many, showing that true love knows no bound. Nneoma and Chanu's journey was a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the transformative power of love. They faced the world together, hand in hand, ready to take on whatever challenges came their way. Chaz's envy and regret reached a boiling point. She could no longer bear to watch Nneoma live the life she had always dreamed of. One evening she confronted Nneoma, her heart filled with anger and resentment. "Why should you have everything?" Chinaza demanded, her voice trembling with emotion. "I was supposed to marry Chinu, not you. You stole my life." Nneoma looked at her stepsister with compassion, understanding the pain behind her words. "Chinaza, I never wanted to take anything from you. This was never my choice. But sometimes life has a way of leading us to where we need to be." China's anger melted into tears as she realized the truth in Nneoma's woe. RDS, she had been blinded by jealousy and greed, failing to see the true value of love and kindness. Nneoma stepped forward and embraced her stepsister, offering forgiveness and understanding. "Let us move forward together," Nneoma said softly. "It's never too late to change and find happiness in our own way." Chinaza, humbled by Nneoma's grace, accepted her sister's forgiveness. The confrontation became a turning point, allowing them to mend their relationship and find a path to healing. Nneoma and Chanu's love story reached its beautiful conclusion surrounded by loved ones and well-wishers. Their journey had been filled with challenges, but their love had triumphed over every obstacle. Chenu, now fully recovered, stood tall and proud, his heart filled with gratitude for the woman who had changed his life. Their wedding reception was a grand celebration attended by friends, family, and the community. Nneoma and Chinu danced together, their hearts beating as one, knowing that their love was a beacon of hope and inspiration. Chinaza, having learned valuable lessons about love and humility, stood by her sister's side, offering her support and blessings. The family, once divided by jealousy and strife, was now united in love and understanding. As and Chinu looked into each other's eyes, they knew that their journey was just beginning. Their love story was a testament to the power of kindness, resilience, and the belief that true love can overcome any obstacle. Together, they faced the future with hope and joy, ready to embrace whatever life had in store for them. Their story, from sacrifice to love, was a shining example of the transformative power of love and the beauty of a heart that remains kind and true.